Comedians love to roast Kamala Harris, from calling out her sudden identity shifts.
We cannot be unburdened by what has been when we can be unburdened by what could be. Okay?
To comparing her to Joe Biden.
You know, replacing Joe Biden with Kamala Harris is like changing your shirt because you shit your pants.
When it comes to Kamala Harris, it's like the comedy world just can't get enough. First up, there's Kamala's signature way of answering questions. You know, that style where she always brings up her middle-class roots. Like, we get it, Kamala, you grew up with struggles and are one of us. Or so you say.
Who's voting for Kamala Harris? Y'all gonna do that? She's from Oakland. We cannot be unburdened by what has been when we can be unburdened by what could be. Okay? Kamala, what's your favorite color? I was born in a middle-class family.
I grew up a middle-class kid.
And in a middle-class family, you are not in the upper class or the lower class.
It's like she has a middle-class card she plays in every speech, and frankly, it's starting to feel like her go-to answer to everything.
You were in the middle of the class, you see.
I was raised as a middle-class kid.
Kamala, what do you like to eat for dinner? A middle-class family. Do you understand what I'm saying? Middle class.
And I come from the middle class.
Not the top. And not the bottom.
But if her answers weren't chaotic enough, we've got her go-to line that definitely needs a rewrite.
There's no way someone is not telling her to stop saying that same thing over and over again.
To see what can be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been? Like, she just says it over and over and over again.
To see what can be unburdened by what has been.
This isn't real. This is writing. Someone wrote this.
Now, if you thought Kamala's go-to line was confusing, Brent Pella will lay it all out for you.
I was raised in a middle-class family. I grew up in a neighborhood. A neighborhood is a place with houses.
He breaks it down thoroughly.
And maybe you can relate to this. Maybe you can relate. I grew up in a place where people really loved their bushes.
Now let's move on to Tim Dillon, who drops some serious truth bombs about Kamala. According to Tim, Kamala's speeches are like a jumble of random thoughts thrown together like a gypsy.
Kamala Harris cannot say a sentence. She's almost worse than him. She talks in like gypsy curses. When they ask her something, she'll be like, my grandma said that a hive of bees is still bees if you bury it. And you're like, what the is this bitch saying?
Gypsy curses.
That's how she speaks. The woman has no idea what's going on.
And speaking of speaking random things at the worst time, let's talk about the whole gun owner shtick.
I think she just had your girl Kamala on. That's why.
Really?
That's why we got Oprah on the brain. She just did a sit down with Kamala.
How did it go?
Obviously a disaster. Kamala's
No, it probably
out of her
went
mind.
great.
She was like, "I'm a gun owner. Oh yeah, I have a gun."
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
know that.
Jane Gillis goes all in, mocking Kamala's gun owner persona while impersonating her accent. You know, the one where she claims she's ready to shoot anyone who tries to break in. Except, of course, she won't actually do anything.
She's like, "If you come into my house, you're gonna get shot." She said that.
If
And I thought
somebody
that was
breaks in
probably-
my house, they're getting shot.
Yes. I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
But
My staff will deal with that later.
She claims she's ready to defend herself, but the how is a mystery. Does she even know which end of the gun to point?
Could you even imagine going to the range with that moron and putting a loaded gun in her hand? You know she'd be the one that turns around from the firing line. It's jammed! You know you can see her doing it already off the bat. You know that she'd be that one. She'd be the one.
But was it a straw purchase? I mean, who gave Kamala Harris a gun?
And then people start talking about how she acts Indian when she wants and black when it suits her.
She does different accents, you know, depending on where she is, you know, down south. Let me tell you something. You boys better get it together here and vote. Save democracy. Black community, she's like, shit, let me tell you something, honey. Let me tell you right now,
It's almost like watching a chameleon change colors for the crowd.
The rallies in the black areas, like Detroit, and she does like the black voice. And we beat him in 2020, we're gonna beat him in 2024.
And here comes Andrew Schultz with the brutal roast about Kamala's rise to power.
Move over, RFK. This November, we've got a new throat goat, and apparently her headshots don't miss. Kamala Harris, or as we call her, Warhawk Tua, the half-black, half-Indian, parents met at a 7-Eleven robbery, is officially the Democratic nominee.
He's here to roast the whole campaign. Honestly, I'm not sure if we're talking about a presidential campaign or an episode of Cops.
Surely the Dems, the party that calls Trump the end of democracy, surely they allowed the voters to choose Kamala, right? What? No? Wait, there's no right to choose? Guys, this is a presidential election, not a woman's body in Oklahoma.
Then there's the whole Democratic Party logic, where they scream that Trump is the end of democracy, but then somehow end up picking their candidate in a way that makes you question if politics is even real.
Now, I don't want to seem like a flat-earthing, dinosaur-denying, believe-all-women conspiracy theorist, but it kind of feels like the Democrats dragged Biden's lifeless corpse through the campaign long enough to avoid a primary so they could place whoever they wanted as the nominee. And that's about as democratic as North Korea's Got Talent.
And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, Saturday Night Live steps in to serve us some roast gold. The actors they picked to play Biden and Kamala were spot on.
We couldn't have gotten here without one man, and his name is Joe Biden. Get on out here, Joe Biden.
I mean, you could barely tell the difference between the real deal and the SNL version.
Folks, that's right. A lot of people forget I'm president, including me. But guess what? And by the way, I'm being serious right now. Come on.
And then we got Bill Maher, who doesn't hold back when it comes to Kamala.
And for whatever reason, Harris has never been popular. You can count the number of delegates she won in the 2020 primaries on one hand, as long as that hand has no fingers. Sometimes life isn't fair. It's not fair that she's not popular. She's intelligent and accomplished, and in fact, was put in charge of the border. And look at how... Okay, bad example.
He wasn't the backup we were hoping for, just the one we got stuck with. And no matter how many boxes Kamala checks, black, Indian, woman, she somehow always falls behind.
And as a former prosecutor, Kamala was putting criminals in jail back before liberals decided that was a bad thing.
And can't we all agree, Kamala's laugh has become its own meme at this point, and some comedians have had a field day with it.
For diversity, right? This country was built on being a melting pot. I could take a step back and go, wow, historically, pretty amazing having the very first retarded hyena in the Oval Office. She's the body language of a meth addict. She does that.
Lastly, here's Rob Schneider, who completely annihilates the whole Biden-Kamala switch.
You know, replacing Joe Biden with Kamala Harris is like changing your shirt because you shit your pants. You didn't fix anything. I still can smell you.
All in all, Kamala Harris is the ultimate joke delivery system. Whether she's confusing the nation with her answers or showing up in Tim's like she's on a world tour, comedians are never short of material.